We continue to follow the latest surprise coming from President Donald Trump's cabinet. Attorney General Jeff Sessions is stepping down from his post after President Trump asked him to resign. Sessions Chief of Staff Matthew Whitaker will be the acting AG in the meantime and will take over the Russia probe from Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein. For the 360 view, we go to our political panel, our liberal Georgia State Representative Erica Thomas and conservative radio host Steve Gill coming from Nashville. Thanks for joining us on this historical day. And I don't think any of us woke up this morning thinking Jeff Sessions would be out at the end of the day. Steve, were you surprised that Jeff was going to be the first one out?
Probably almost as surprised as Jeff Sessions. We've been hearing for a while that there would be some people moving out relatively quickly. It's not unusual that you're going to see a change after the midterms. A lot of people sign up just for a couple of years in this kind of hot, broiled atmosphere of a White House. We're already hearing Ryan Zinke. Mattis is probably on his way out. Kirsten is at Homeland Security. So you're going to have some turnover, but I think the timing and the speed with which this one happened did catch everybody by surprise.
I mean, Steve, we just saw a press conference circus, whatever you want to call it, for 90 minutes, and it never came up. So does that make you think that Trump knew this was going to happen, or was this just something that happened that he had been planning and said, you know what, I'm just going to give you another surprise? Steve.
You know, this is a White House that constantly steps on their own messages, and it's really kind of inexplicable. You've got a news cycle that you could really be talking, as the president started his press conference, talking about declaring victory as pushing against the historic tide that most midterm elections push against a president in power. The president picked up seats in the Senate, didn't lose them, which is historic, saw lower than normal swing in the House. You had a good day to talk about a positive news story. Even the 90-minute press conference was stepping on his story, and then to throw this on top of it is just really, to my mind, a strange way of handling communications and stepping on your own story and not maximizing the benefits of your good news.
Okay, Erica, that's a Republican saying that there's a problem. Is that what we're seeing right now? I mean, that must be like, you know, wonderful things to your ears, because last night in Georgia, in Atlanta, there was a very passionate speech, concession speech. I don't even know if it's really it wasn't a concession speech given by the woman who's definitely still going to want a vote count, Abrams. And so I have to ask you, how did it feel in Atlanta yesterday, not only with just the governor's race, but all the races that were going on in the state?
Well, you know what? You know, when you look at the numbers in the last midterm election, we got 44% of the gubernatorial race. So for us to get 48% in a red state that Trump won by 200,000 votes is a lot. You know, we haven't seen those type of numbers since the 90s. And so with that being said, we're excited. We think that this is a change in the tide. And even in our state legislature, we gained 14 seats, and those seats were red just years ago. And so, you know, we're showing numbers. I know it's a lot to say that right now, if we're going to get a runoff, if we're not, we don't really know with the gubernatorial race. But to say that we got a lot of cities and a lot of counties that Trump won, it's a mastermind.
And we're not talking red just because of the Georgia Bulldogs. We're actually talking, you know, it's a red state because it's traditionally voted red. But
yeah.
But that being said, moving forward, how do you capitalize on this engagement? And now that you do own the House, aren't you kind of giving President Trump a scapegoat to say, hey, if things don't work out, blame it on the Democrats who now control the House?
Well, you know what? I don't really know what exactly is going to happen. It's crazy. Like you just said, you know, anything could really happen, you know, but now saying with Rep. Nadler saying what he said today, him taking over the Justice Committee, you just never know what's going to happen with this Russian probe. And, you know, look at the Sessions resignation letter. It had no date on it. This is not a surprise. We knew that this was going to happen. They were just waiting till after the midterm. So, you know, it's really been a debacle in the White House ever since. So seeing people falling off of the cabinets, of course, we're going to see that. I'm not surprised at seeing people falling off. I just want to see what happens next. And is Whitaker, what is he going to do, you know, in his 210 days that he has as the acting AG? So, you know, it's a lot of things that we need to be looking at, because anything can happen at any moment. You know, even getting off this program in an hour, something else might happen. So it's just something we need to watch.
That is absolutely true. Okay, so then the big question is right now, because this is a very important spot, is who becomes the next Attorney General. Steve, what are some of your predictions? Who would you like to see in the role?
You're seeing names like Trey Gowdy, the congressman from South Carolina. The president has a real propensity to like folks who are on the air at Fox News. So Judge Jeanine Pirro's name is being mentioned some. I don't think you're going to see either of those. I think they're going to find somebody that they think can get confirmed by the Senate. And with the president having an additional perhaps 4 or 5 Senate seats to play with in the U.S. Senate, a confirmation process gets easier, but I think they still want somebody that isn't going to be as contentious or as controversial when they try to get them confirmed in the Senate.
And Erica, real quick, is there someone that the Democrats will easily at least be happy with or at least somewhat content with in that role? Okay. Well, there you go.
I don't think so at all.
Well, thank you. You know what? I would nominate both of you, and I think it would be a bipartisan support. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Scotty.
Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope you enjoyed the video. We have tons of content for you just like this. For more of RT America's one-of-a-kind news and analysis, be sure to subscribe and never stop questioning more.